Everyone in the house loves your dog, but when one particular person stands up, your dog stands up too. They may walk past 3 other family members just to follow that one person into the next room. So what exactly made that person so important? The obvious answer is food, but the person filling the bowl isn't always the person getting followed. To understand what is happening, watch what your dog expects after they follow that person. Maybe that human usually reaches for the leash. Maybe they open the backyard door, start games, invite the dog onto the sofa, or simply respond more often when the dog approaches. None of these moments seems important by itself. But dogs are constantly learning which human actions predict something meaningful. And the reward doesn't have to be a treat. Attention can be rewarding. Play can be rewarding. Going outside can be rewarding. Even getting a calm, familiar response can matter. Over hundreds of everyday interactions, one family member can become especially relevant to the dog. But that still doesn't explain everything. Because some dogs follow the same person even when absolutely nothing interesting is happening. No food, no walk, no toy. They simply want to stay close. And this is where the relationship becomes more interesting. Research on dog-human attachment suggests that dogs can use their caregivers as a kind of secure base. In experiments, dogs have behaved differently when their owner was present compared with when they were alone or accompanied by an unfamiliar person. In simple terms, a familiar human can sometimes provide more than rewards. Their presence itself can matter. Now think about your own dog. Who do they look for when a strange noise comes from outside? Who do they approach when unfamiliar visitors enter the house? And who do they choose to lie beside when nothing exciting is happening? Those moments may tell you more than who receives the biggest greeting at the front door. There is another factor owners often miss. Dogs learn our individual patterns incredibly well. One person may be associated with excitement. Another may be the person who gives clear, consistent signals. And someone else may have become associated with quiet, comfortable moments. That means the person your dog follows most is not necessarily the person who gives the most food, or even proof of who the dog loves most. Different relationships can serve different purposes. Here is the easiest way to understand your own dog. Look at when the following happens. If your dog suddenly becomes your shadow before the usual walk, anticipation is probably part of the explanation. If they seek one person when something unfamiliar or stressful happens, that person's presence may provide security. And if the dog chooses the same person during completely ordinary moments, moving from room to room just to remain nearby, the social relationship itself may be especially important. So why does your dog follow one family member more than everyone else? Usually, there isn't one single reason. It is the result of hundreds of small experiences: who responds, who plays, who communicates clearly, who is present during important moments, and sometimes, who makes the world feel most familiar when nothing else is predictable. Your dog may not simply be choosing a favorite. They may be choosing the person who has become most important to how they understand, navigate, and feel secure in their everyday world. And if following suddenly becomes unusually intense or appears alongside other behavioral changes, it is worth considering stress, changes in routine, or physical discomfort and discussing persistent changes with a veterinarian. To understand more of the tiny choices that reveal how your dog sees you, subscribe to Pet Psychology Explained.